Hello, my name is Dr. Shirin Shafiei Ebrahimi, and today I have a challenge for you. I want to help you to define your own identity. Okay, so the question is, how do you define your own identity? Who do you think that your inner self is? I think that it is better that we spend few minutes, few moments, and think about that. Just think, review in your mind. Who do you think in reality you are? So, how many identities do you think you have? Well, researchers said that we have normally two types of identities. The first is the individual identity. Is your inner self, is the person that you are within you, the person that you know of yourself. So this is the side of your identity that you are only aware of that, and nobody else. The second aspect of your identity is the social identity. It is your personal self. So it is the part of your character that your friends, your family members, your immediate people in your environment know that. They know that about you. When they define you, they say that you are as such. Another aspect is your public self. So your public self is the kind of character that you project to the world, that you show to others, that you show to strangers, the person that you introduce of yourself to the world. And the most interesting side of your character is your digital self. Isn't it interesting? You have a digital self. You were aware of that? Okay, so we are not only this human being, we are not only this physical body, but we have a digital identity as well. So it is the part of identity that we build up, that we construct by use of identity, by use of technologies. So technology is giving us this chance to build a side of character for ourselves. This is the way that we introduce ourselves to the world. So let me give you some examples, like the avatars that we make and we just post in the social media, like the usernames, like the photoshopped photos, right? So the photoshopped photos of us may be close to our real person or too far, right? So technology is helping us to build a new persona out of us. It may be close to our real person. It would be a real version of us, or it can be an anonymous version of us. We may not even know that person because the avatar that we use, because the username that we choose representing us may not match our own personality, our own real identity. So it's not only society that is helping us, it's not only technology that is helping us to build up our identity, but the next important factor is language. So interesting, right? Language. How many languages do we have in the world? Maybe hundreds, thousands? Wow. So it means that the language is giving shape to our identity as well. In the society that we open our eyes to this, in the society that we are born, we may have different personalities, different identities. Let me give you an example. Let's consider Persian. Persian is known as the language of epics and poetries. So most of the time when normal people are talking with each other in the street, they may use many verses just to consider or to convey their message. On the other hand, we know that, let's say, German is also known as an army language. It is the powerful language. It is a strong language, right? So it is the language of philosophy. So we see that those who are raised in the German society, they have most number of philosophers. They offer many philosophers to the world. On the other hand, we have so many delicate Persian poets in the world. Okay, so the way that we are learning these languages depends on our society. So we tend to copy the people who are surrounding us. We try to imitate them because we want to be close to their identity. We try to have the same identity as our heroes, who may be our parents, who may be the first people who we encounter with when we are very young. So when any baby is born, they say that he is born with a tabula rasa, means that a whiteboard in our mind. There is nothing. And then we are filling up this identity, or we are sharing these characteristics based on the language that we are teaching or offering to this baby. So we would learn how to act, how to speak, how to think based on the language that we learn initially. We form or we shape this tabula rasa, and we come up with a new identity of our own. So one is not born, but becomes a woman. This is a sentence from Simone de Beauvoir, the famous French philosopher and feminist. She said that we are not born a girl or a boy, but we are becoming one of them. We know that gender is a huge part of our identity, isn't it so? So we learn to choose pink over blue, to choose, let's say, doll over ball. So it is not only our language, but it is our surrounding society that is helping us to choose either of them. So the community that we are a member of is also important. If, let's say, we are a member of the community of engineers, we love to communicate with each other using the terms that is popular among engineers. On the other hand, if we are a law person, wow, our vocabularies, our word choice would be so much different, right? So this is the word choice, as Heidegger mentions, that builds up our identity too. So these word choices just pass through our mind one by one, and they may be different from a moment to another, from a setting to another, from a place to another. Let's say even from a generation to another, So the word that a person, the same person, may choose after in the second moment may be totally different with the same situation if you put her in the same situation later on. So this is called linguistic relativity theory, which is about the relationship between language and thought. As I explained earlier, language can affect our thoughts. Language is the way that helps us to speak and to think. So if you are a native Persian speaker, you tend to produce poetry. If you are a native German speaker, you tend to be powerful and strong. So on the other hand, we have these interactional identities. Means that we interact with different people differently. If you speak in a job interview, you may use different word choice rather than when you are talking online, you are chatting online with a stranger, or you are just standing in a TEDx talk in front of an audience, an unknown audience. So everything had a name, and each name gave birth to a new thought. So this is the name, this is a language that helps us to think first and to produce the language, to speak. So every time that we exchange information with our friends online, even with reading a book, you are exchanging information, huh? In that time, you will build up new identities because your mindset would change from a moment to another. So this is what that frames and reframes our identity, because language is constantly changing. So our individual self is also constantly changing. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was the Creator. So we are the creator of our words. We create the world that we live in, the world in our mind and the outside world. First of all, we think of that, it is in our mind, and then we project it to the world. So it's not only the word inside us that we build it up, but it is also the outer world that we build up. No man ever steps in the same river twice, because it is not the same river, and the man is not the same person. You see how constantly from a moment to another we are changing. We keep changing through time from a moment to another. This is a very famous Chinese proverb. It's an ancient, I can call it, proverb. So this identity is coming to our being. Our identity is changing, is varying from a moment to another. So in search of our inner self, there are three important factors that affect our identity construction. The first is the place, location, the nation that we are living in, the society, because the society, the social norm, is the one that gives us some options to build our identity. We tend to be like Malaysians if we live in Malaysia. We tend to think like Europeans when we live in Europe. The second one is language. Language gives us guidelines. How to build up our how to build up our personality, our other self. If you are a Persian speaker, you tend to love melodious language. If you're a German speaker, you tend always to be philosophical and strong in every aspect of your life. The third important factor in building your identity is plan, is your mutual goals, is your achievements, is your success, your accomplishment. You tend to look like people who have the same vision of life with you, who follow the same goals of life with you. So the final product of our identity, of our inner self, depends on different factors. As I explained earlier, society can include the language, technology, and also the future plans. So we are, in fact, the one who builds up our identity. We don't get it. Identity is not something that is given to us. But we, as human beings who has choices, can accept or decline some norms or some options that is given to us by the society, by technology, and by plans, right? So it is created, and we become who we are based on our needs and our choices. Now, let me know, what is your idea now? How do you express your identity? Thank you so much.